Welcome to the Stronger Marriage Podcast.
We're your hosts. I'm Lee.
And I am Trey. We live in a small town in the Texas Panhandle.
We've been married for 32 years.
And we have 4 grown sons, 2 daughters-in-law, and a granddaughter.
We started doing marriage workshops about 10 years ago.
We now do 16 workshops per year all over the United States.
We've authored 2 books together. Our first book is called 10 Ways to a Stronger Marriage, in which we give very practical tips that will help couples build a stronger marriage, whether it's currently great, good, or struggling.
Our newest book is called Wisdom for Your Marriage. It's a couple's devotional guide through the book of Proverbs. It can be done in 31 days and is good for individuals or to do as a couple. You can find those books on Amazon.com.
We hope to offer tips and encouragement along your marriage journey, and you can find more information about us on treyandlee.com.
Again, welcome to the Stronger Marriage Podcast. Glad you're here. Glad you joined us today. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and a happy opening day.
Yes. If you're not sure what that means, today is Thursday, April the 1st, and it is opening day of Major League Baseball.
Yes.
That's big in the Morgan house.
It is. Yes, we love baseball. It's good stuff. Baseball's back
We
on.
have made a lot of opening day games. We're not there today, but we've made a lot of trips to ballparks and love watching baseball. Texas Ranger fans, but we just love baseball in general.
We do. We've got some fantasy leagues going.
Right.
Which is fun.
We play with some of our boys and some friends and things like that. We play fantasy baseball. We've been keeping up with how our players are doing today. And yeah, this is a big day for the Morgans. We're pretty excited about opening day baseball. Lee wore a play ball shirt today, and I did not get a chance to put on a baseball shirt today.
Well, but you wore a t-shirt you wore to the gym, and it just happens to be a Baltimore Orioles shirt.
Nelson Cruz when we visited
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
We visited Camden Yards one time.
That's right.
So that was fun.
Yep, that was fun. And so, yes, I did have a baseball
You
shirt
did
on.
have a baseball shirt on.
Good call.
Just not the right team.
There you go. That's exactly right. A couple of things real quick I'd love to throw out there before we get going. Last week's podcast was amazing. We talked about ways to use your cell phones. That was extremely popular, and we were excited about that. Thank y'all for joining us for that. We've got a couple of 3 workshops coming up. We kind of packed them in a lot. We're going to Portland next week.
It's going to be fun.
Portland, Oregon. If you're in the Northwest, this is our chance and your chance. We got to get together. Y'all got to come to Portland, Oregon.
We do not get up in that area very often.
No, and so I hope that works out. We're going to be in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is a Nashville area, and that'll be on the 23rd and 4th of April. We're excited about that. That will be a Stronger Families workshop. We talk, a lot of folks ask what's the difference between a marriage and a workshop and a family workshop. We do a session on marriage in the family workshop, but we also talk parenting and families and blended families and just a lot of stuff that's good family-oriented material. It's a very popular workshop. We enjoy doing it very much. And then we have Pryor, Oklahoma on May the 8th, and that's kind of one we're excited about. They're doing something special. If you're in the Oklahoma area, the host church is going to provide a free book, a free Wisdom for Your Marriage book for every couple that registers and comes. So you just can't beat that. That's a good deal.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome that they're going to dole out some funds, and they say, hey, if you come to the workshop, you'll get one of the free workbooks that you can do with your spouse that we wrote last year. And
they are committed to trying to bless some couples in their marriages, so that is pretty great.
That is right. And then the end of May at the 22nd, we'll be in Georgia, and we're excited about that. Yeah. We enjoy getting to go to that direction, and so we're going a lot of directions lately, and our big event that we do every year is our getaway weekend. Last year was in Lubbock. We had about 75 couples and sold out in about an hour. This year we'll probably have about 100 couples at a hotel in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I expect it'll be sold out pretty quick too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Me too. So let's talk. Where are we going today? What are we talking today?
So we've just got a fun little episode today called A Daily Marriage Checklist.
So what is a daily marriage checklist?
Well, I mean, we're both kind of list makers. We like to make lists. We like to be able to check something off the list and say, got that done, check it off the list.
True.
And I'm sure a lot of you that are listening are the same way. Checklists are just pretty helpful, just to kind of give you an idea of where you're going and what you've accomplished.
Every day I look at my list and go, what's on my checklist that I got to get done? And this is a marriage checklist of 10 things you should try to do every day. Every day in your marriage. 10 things that ought to be on your marriage to-do list for you to check off.
These are not hard things. These are really fairly simple things to do.
Yep.
And you may just need a little reminder, I need to be doing that a little bit better. So, kick us off. What's the first one?
All right, we're going to kind of start it out like it's the beginning of the day, and these 10 things will kind of roll through the day. But as you start your day, probably the first thing you ought to do every morning is kiss good morning. Is to just give your wife a kiss or your husband a kiss and say good morning. Whether you ask how you slept or I hope you slept well, but a simple kiss good morning is a great way to start the day.
You might want to keep words to a minimum if your spouse is not a morning person.
That's true.
Right? Let them have their coffee first.
There you go. But just start the day.
Don't expect a lot of conversation.
Yeah, lean over and give them a little kiss. You don't have to look for conversations. Just give them a little kiss and go, good morning, sweetheart, or good morning, honey. Just a great way to kick off every day.
Yeah.
It reminds you that you're more than just two people living in a house together. You are a husband and a wife.
That's right.
So a kiss every morning is a great thing to do.
That's right. You've kind of learned, if y'all know us, you've heard us talk enough. Trey is a morning person, and he just gets up early. His body clock goes off, and he climbs out of bed.
I like it. Yeah, I woke up this morning at 6:30.
6:30, sometimes earlier. And I'm not. And so sometimes he is up for a solid 2 hours before I get up. And, he's ready. He's raring to go, and he's ready to talk, and he's already thought of all these things we need to talk about.
I've had 2 cups of coffee.
And I'm like, and he's like, I got a question. Is it too early?
I try to keep words to a minimum. I usually say, good morning, sweetheart.
Let me get a fourth of a cup down before I have to answer a question.
It's just like I wait so long for you to get up in the mornings.
But yes, give him or her a kiss. Just greet each other with a little affection in the mornings. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing to do.
Yes.
Hard to not have a blessed day when you start off like that.
Yeah.
Second thing, what's something else on your list that you can do, maybe mid-morning or all day long, that should be on the marriage to-do list, daily to-do list?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't see each other, most of the day, just send a text throughout the day. Like you said, maybe mid-morning, maybe mid-afternoon. Just kind of keep lines of communication open throughout the day if you have a job where you're able to do that. And hopefully you've got one where you can at least, take 10 seconds to send a little text message and respond to one.
Something like, hope you're having a good day.
Right. Just thinking about you.
So something sweet.
Yes.
Yeah. I hear a lot of men that send their wives a good morning, sweetheart text. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. Just
a simple way to just convey a little message of love.
It is. We couldn't do that back in the old days when we were young married. We didn't have cell phones. There was no text messages. I couldn't send you an email. And so now just the ability to go, hope your day is good. That's a good thing. And so use the opportunity throughout the day to just kind of text every now and then. Let your spouse know you're thinking about them. That's a good thing. It's another thing you can do on your list today or a day.
Do something thoughtful.
Now, this can be a very simple thing, can it?
Sure.
It does not have to be some big, elaborate scheme, something thoughtful. If you're coffee drinkers like we are, bring your spouse their coffee or fix their coffee for them and take it to them. Or
if it's winter and it's cold out in the mornings, go start their car before they get in it, so they can get into a warm car. Just simple little things. Just kind of ask yourself early in the day, what can I do to bless my spouse today?
Yeah, just something really simple. Do something sweet for them.
Volunteer to, do they need to run an errand? Can I run an errand for you? Doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, that's a good call. Anytime you can do something like that, it will bless your marriage. Another thing you can do during the day is have uninterrupted conversation. Now, Texting is awesome. Phone calls are awesome. But face-to-face, uninterrupted conversation is very, very necessary for couples.
It is. There's a sad statistic that we saw that says couples only spend 4 minutes of uninterrupted time together a day. 4 minutes. Man,
that's just not enough.
That is not very much time.
You wonder why marriages are hurting or struggling, or the divorce rate is high. 4 minutes a day doesn't cut it. You got to have more than 4 minutes a day of checking in with your spouse. And interrupted means you're not both, you're not watching a movie together. That's spending time together, or one of you is not looking at your cell phone, or something along those lines. It's just, hey, let's sit down for a minute and visit.
Actually having a conversation together. I think that's why meal times are so important.
It is.
To be able to have that time together.
Yeah, when you sit down to a dinner table, not in front of a television set, and have a meal time together, boy, that is a blessing for families.
Because
and
hopefully
for
it takes you longer than 4 minutes to eat. So you've got some time there to have a conversation. And that's actually on the list. I jumped ahead.
That's okay. Well, let's throw it out there.
But that's on our list. Eat a meal together.
Make it your goal to have one meal together a day. If you can have more than that, that's great. But at least one meal together. This doesn't mean that you take your plate of food and go watch TV together.
Right.
It is, let's sit down at the table where we can have some conversation and visit. Plan on eating a meal together. That is so important, and especially if you've got kids at home, being able to sit down as a family in the evenings when everybody's there, and you set your cell phone over on a cabinet somewhere and go, hey, no cell phones at the table while we're having supper. It is just great communication time. We've talked about that on a guest podcast recently. The one thing we would do to challenge families today, they asked us, and we said, have one meal together a day at the dinner table.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So
shoot for that. Make that a goal somewhere in there.
Let's back up to where we were before I jumped ahead.
Yeah, it's all right.
Pray together.
Yeah.
Pray together. And mealtime is a great time to do this as well.
That's exactly right. Before you have your meal, just have a second to pray together and ask God to bless your food and bless your marriage and your family.
That's right.
You can have some prayer time together before a meal or before bedtime or in the morning before your spouse leaves for work.
Before you start your day and head out the door, it's a great time to just pause for a minute and ask God to be with your day. It's a great way to end the day, like you said, as you climb into bed together. So, yeah, lots of opportunities. Don't miss out on that one.
Yeah, pray together. That's something you can do every day. Is just spend a few minutes praying together. That's a healthy thing to do for every marriage. What's another one?
Laugh together.
Yes. Now that you don't always do that. It's kind of hard to go, hey, let's plan some laugh time today.
That's a spontaneous thing.
It is. It's kind of a spontaneous thing. But when you can just kind of laugh or basically have a little fun together somehow, some way. And sometimes that is watching a sitcom where you both laugh together at something or something. But
if you're having meals together and you're trying to make time for conversation and you're sending texts, maybe you share a funny meme or something. I mean, just set yourself up for opportunities to laugh together.
We've done that today.
If you're spending any amount of time together, chances are you're going to laugh together.
Yeah,
so.
We have shared several Instagram pictures today that have made us laugh, pass back and forth to each other, that have been pretty humorous. And I love that, I love in marriage that we can send one another memes and laugh at stuff. And so, yeah, who would have ever thought 20 years ago if somebody said, hey, send some memes together and laugh together, we'd have said, what does that even mean? How do you do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that would be something that would be important for marriage to do.
A way to connect.
Yes. Yep, that would be a way to connect. So we're knocking some of these out. This is good. Let's have another one.
What you got next?
Number 7. All right, now get ready. Hang with me for a sec because this one's pretty good. Make some love every day. Or I'll just put it this way. Make love every day. Now you're going, wait, what? You don't have sex every day. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking make some love every day, which means remind yourselves, connect with your spouse every day in a way that reminds you that you're more than mom and dad. Make some love. Now you do this through touching, run your hand across your spouse's back or their backside, in the kitchen. You can simply hug. You can hold hands in the car. You can cuddle on the couch during a television show. You can flirt. Flirting is a great way to make some love in your marriage every day. But basically, it is just when you do that, it is a connection that reminds you we're more than a parent. We're more than parents. We're connected. There's some spark in our marriage. And so make some love every day, even on days you don't have sex.
Yeah, that's great.
That's just such a key that you get through the day to remember, I love my spouse and we connected today. We may have just sat on the couch side by side and kind of snuggled for a little while, but we did things that we don't do with other people, and those were things like touch and hold hands and kiss and things along those lines.
Exactly right. Another great way to connect.
It is.
So we talked about eating a meal together. And this next one we have talked about on prior episodes, but
I think we call that one pro tips, and this is still a pro tip, but it's something you should try to do together every day.
Go to bed at the same time.
Yeah.
This is hard. This is really hard for a lot of people.
Yes.
But,
and because I'm the early morning guy, I'm about 10 o'clock, I'm like,
can
we go to bed?
It's like I'm getting the second wind.
Yeah, my battery, if I was a cell phone at 10 o'clock, it would be blinking that it needs charged up. And so I'm about ready for bed, and you're often not. But we work hard every night to go to bed together at the same time. Yes. Sometimes you'll go to bed and read, and I'll go to sleep. Sometimes we'll just spend some time talking, whatever it is. But it is healthy to go to bed together as a husband and a wife.
It is.
And I know if you have different work schedules, then that's maybe a little bit different, that you can't pull that off, but that's a healthy thing to do, to go to bed with your spouse at the same time every night.
Yeah, it's a great time. As we've said, we kind of, we'll check in with each other and find out, kind of what does your day look like tomorrow? We take time to pray together. If you never go to bed together, man, intimacy is hard.
It is. if that is if intimacy in
you have to work at that a little bit harder, right?
Yeah. And so it is really hard to be intimate if y'all are never going to bed together at the same time.
That's right.
And so that is a key. And then finally, we're going to kind of close out with what we started with, which is
we kissed in the morning, so we're going to kiss at night.
Let's kiss at night before bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, lean over and give your husband or your wife a kiss. Maybe after you've prayed with them or something, and just tell them good night, I love you, say I love you, but just finish off your day like that. Now, I really think if marriages would take and put about 8 of these, even if you just said, I'm going to do 8 of these 10 things every day, then I think it would be a blessing. Marriages would be blessed.
It definitely would.
I think it's shampoo bottles. Yeah, you're going, where are you going? Shampoo bottles that always say on the back, wash, rinse,
lather, rinse, repeat.
And repeat. And now I don't ever repeat. I don't have enough hair to repeat. Yeah. I don't have a lot of hair, but wash, rinse, and repeat. So if we were telling you on this list, you go, here's your daily checklist. You give that spouse a kiss goodnight and go to bed. You get up the next morning and wash, rinse, and repeat. You do it again.
Start it all over again. You kiss your wife or your husband when you get up, and you tell them good morning and bring them a coffee and check in, send them a little text message, and find some time to have a little bit of conversation after the kids go to bed, or maybe after the kids go to school. Pray together, laugh together, send a silly meme on your phone, make a little love by hugging or touching or kissing or something, eat a meal together, and then kiss goodnight and do it all over again. Yeah. You may not have done so great one day, but you always get another day to improve.
That's right.
You always got tomorrow, and
there's some days you get busy. There's some days schedules don't let you cooperate, but you get up today going, I'm going to see how many of these things that I can knock out, and it will bless you. So there you go. We got 10 things for you to do in your marriage that will bless you every day.
We kept it short and sweet today.
That's right. Let's go watch some more baseball.
That's right. We got to get back to it.
Back to a baseball game. We're honored you joined us. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll check back in next week. We appreciate you following us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. and we're honored. Can I throw out one more thing real quick?
Yeah.
If you're listening to this and you have purchased one of our books, whether it was the 10 Ways to a Stronger Marriage or the Wisdom for Your Marriage book, you could bless us tremendously by jumping back on Amazon where you bought that book and leave us a review. Click that little button that says 5 stars and just tell us something good you loved about the book. The more reviews that are there on our books, the more that when somebody types in marriage book, it'll pull that up toward the top and just kind of help. We're trying to just spread the word about healthy marriages.
That's right.
And so if you get a chance and can leave us a review on Amazon for one of those
and
two
we're
books.
not saying you have to leave a 5-star review, just any review.
Yeah.
We would appreciate your feedback.
Yeah.
So.
And if you hated the book, you can skip this part, okay?
Don't leave us a scathing review.
That's
maybe.
exactly right. So, but just a review would be helpful. But we appreciate it.
Yes.
And I hope y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Yes. Bye-bye.